Hello, hello. It's a new podcast podcast format that we're trying out. Ben isn't with me. Josh isn't with me. I'm all by myself. So I'm going to do something related to SEO. I have water. I have a bit of time. So we might as well go through this. I had an idea, I won't lie, pretty quickly, pretty not long ago. And what I wanted to do was talk about the core algorithm update for March. I mean, if you're an SEO, or if you're in SEO, or if you read about SEO at all, you'll know about this. If you're not, welcome. I'm about to show you some things. But I thought the best way to sort of convey the information in a way that Google probably wouldn't like me to do is to go through the current search results for, as you can see what I've searched, the Google Core Update for March 24, and see what people are saying about it, and then analyse the SERPs as well. So we've got loads in one. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this and see if I can do it in an incognito tab, because that would be much nicer to see without any of my previous caching. I don't think Loom's going to do that, so we'll try it again. Okay, Brill, thanks, Loom. Okay, so let's go through this, shall we? The SERPs for this actually look pretty normal, apart from the fact that Reddit is on page 1. There's no surprises there. And LinkedIn, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, there's LinkedIn. Not that there's a problem. I'm sure the content in there's fine. I know that other SEOs won't think the same. We'll have to rank AI content after Google update. Okay, that's fine. Right, what I won't going to do is I'm just going to go through some of the questions, actually. That's a good idea, because I'm going to go through the questions that people are searching and try and answer them on the spot, live. So, what is this question? Why has Google changed today? 2024? Yeah, so Google's March 2024 core algorithm update is significantly impacting the SEO industry. This update, it specifically aims to improve search quality by targeting and removing low quality and spammy content from its index. Yeah, that's what they say every time. They say, well, especially with spam updates, they'll go targeting, removing low quality and spammy content from its index. Yeah, that's what they say every time. That's what they've been saying for 20 years. And in fairness, they do a good job sometimes. Sometimes they don't. Majority they don't, depending on your sort of stance on it, really. Why has Google changed, and what has Google changed? Well, of course, it's in aid of the AI influx over the past year to, 12 to 18 months, I think. Probably longer, actually, now. It's been a while since ChatGPT first got, announced and started being used. But that's the angle from a top level point of view, is that they're trying to remove AI content that is either duplicated, it's bad quality, or it's literally being used to rank. That's an interesting aspect of Google, is that what they're trying to do is make sure that any content that is specifically designed and used, and used in a way to just rank is a very interesting sort of avenue to go down anyway, because determining that is getting more and more difficult, because how can you determine one piece of content from another when all you can see is that content? You don't know if it's human written. You don't know if I've sat here for 2 hours and written a good, sturdy blog, and I've done all my optimization. I've done everything that I do as an SEO. I've done all my internal links. I've optimized my headings. Gone through all of it, made sure that everything's as clear and as concise, and the images are good, and the schema's there, and everything that an SEO would want on a page or a post or a site. But I could do all the same thing, but with AI, and sometimes the content, majority of the time, the content is actually better because it's being pulled from trusted sources, and Google's trying to determine how to make them, how they can just realize how or what content is existingly trustworthy, or what is brand new and what is fresh. Existing content isn't a bad thing, or using existing content isn't a bad thing, especially if you're citing. But because AI is trying to use that content as its own, it's not. It's doing what you're telling it to do. What people are doing is trying to use content that's existing and trying to play it off as their own, and that's what Google is most against, among other things, because it's pretty basic. It's pretty obvious why. But the thing is with Google, and never mind Google. The thing is in general with humans and human behavior, is that we want to get information. If I've searched here and I want information about the Google update for March 2024, and what I want is the most helpful and accurate information possible. And that's what SEOs do. That's what we do. That's why we create content that is designed and written for users and for people, because that's how content should be written, and then it should also have a percentage of it attributed to being optimized, because you can't just write content and not optimize that. That's what we need to do. It's what Google asks you to do. That's what they encourage. So AI can bring that along with it, and humans can use it correctly. I've used AI a lot over the past 18 months. I think a lot of people have been forced into it just to see what the new world looks like, and it's very helpful. It's very useful. It can be very, very good. But if we want to find out the information that is the most accurate and the highest quality, we come to Google, don't we? That's what everyone does. That's why TikTok isn't that yet. It's not for finding the most up-to-date, informative, accurate, correct information. And what Google's doing recently, by allowing crap and shit content through, is not giving us that. Google's being diluted in some ways, not to undermine it or to try and sound like defeated. The fact that I'm going to move my camera now because I keep looking over here, and that means you can't actually see me. But I think, what was I fucking saying then? Yeah, Google, the quality is being brought down slightly because of what they've been doing in allowing AI and Reddit and LinkedIn to be pulled through. Because before, even less, maybe less than a year ago, actually, you could search something and you wouldn't find social media being given to you as the trusted source, because the way I always explain sort of SEO or ranking in general is that Google wants to present you, the user, with the most accurate and informative information possible. And I think we all know over the years that social media has been pretty much the opposite of that, in giving us accurate and correct information. And the opposite as well. You can't determine what's correct through social media, really. And fair enough, you can't do it through Google. What Google's algorithm does is it will find consistencies through content and consistencies through information across a lot of websites, a hell of a lot of websites, and it will use that to determine what the actual accurate information is. That's why you see Forbes at the top of the SERPs all the time. I know Charles has been. Is it Charles? I think Charles has been talking about that. Charles Float on Twitter, but also I follow the Google search, the Twitter, but it's a parody version, and they take the piss out of Forbes all the time because they are at the top of the SERPs for everything. If you want to know about CBD oils, for example, that's what I saw today. They're at the top. If you want to see, well, we can check actually, because I saw it on Twitter, but let's do our own research in front of us, in front of our own eyes. Best CBD oils, and what will we get? Obviously, we get shopping and stuff like that. Okay, so it's like what you would expect to see. Forbes, there you go, ranking fourth. Because when you search this, there's a different, it's difficult to determine what you want to do. Do you want to buy, or do you want information? And in fairness, if you want to go to any of these, you get the information from actual brands that sell it as well. But Forbes don't sell it, do they? Forbes don't sell anything. But they want to rank, and that's why they do this, because they've got high DA, they've got high trust signals, they've got high, in terms of resources as well. They can create as much content as they want about anything that's relevant at all. Independent, even in standard. None of these are bad. I don't know why I'm pointing them out. What I'm saying is that a lot of websites are ranking for topics and keywords, like you've just seen, that don't sell them or don't have anything to do with them. So if you think of it from a human's point of view, if we did this in a shop or just on the high street, and we went to, and we were outside Tesco, and let's say you wanted to buy a loaf of bread at a small shop. If you if we were in person, we would say, well, what's the best bread to buy? I could tell you probably, if depending on my opinion. And then, I like King's Mill. I like white bread. White bread is it's nice. I don't really like wholemeal or anything like that. Anyway, if you were to ask me in the streets, who I wouldn't ask is Forbes. What's the best bread? You don't sell bread. And that's Tesco, but maybe they'd sell to me. So who do you ask? Tesco just want your money. Forbes want the click. Who do you ask? Well, that's difficult to determine. That's for Google to determine and for you to find out when you read. That was a long-winded sort of explanation of what's currently going on. But I thought we'd do some SERP analysis, and we've gone down that rabbit hole anyway. So let's go back to this. I'm curious to see what people on Reddit are actually going to be saying about this. Obviously, Reddit's been huge in the news of SEO because of the fact that they rank everywhere for everything, and this is what you get. Well, that's quite interesting actually that they put the source as the Google Developer blog. So what we've got here, what have we got? What would you say that is? 500 words? I reckon it's about 500 words, maybe less than that actually. And what's it got? 203 comments. Posted 10 days ago. 10 days to rank on the first page for March update is pretty quick, isn't it? Because if you read anything about how long SEO takes, you will never get a real answer. But it's roughly 6 to 12 months, and that's true. That is true because it's down to variety of things. Because you're not going with Reddit, you're not going to get any traffic through to your website to generate sort of any conversions or anything like that. So Reddit is pretty useless in that terms because you can't really use Reddit to try and rank to sell because of obvious reasons. If I put a post up about, if I put a post up about SEO services and things like that, and it was ranking on page 1 for SEO services, God forbid, I don't think anyone will convert from that because it's a post on social media. I don't know why I went through that route, but this is interesting to see because if you compare this, so let's say right, this is the post. It's got 155 upvotes. It's got 203 comments, and it's got about I was being generous. Maybe it's about 400 words. Okay, and that's ranking. Just off the first page, I reckon. I've got one of those things which just endless scroll. So just off the first page, I think. And if you compare that to someone else that's nearby, let's compare it to, let's compare it to Fast Company here. As you can see already by the scroll there, it's a 2-minute read, but the scroll's quite long, and this has already beaten the Reddit post in terms of content amounts and things like that. It's not even very long at all, but it's still beating Reddit, and it's ranking 1 position above there. So fair play. Search Engine Roundtable, they're always going to rank on the first page for anything that's to do with any search terms of Google. So, and these guys, I see where I get a lot of my news. Barry Schwartz is absolutely fantastic. He's a great SEO, great guy, great eye for everything that's going on, and he reports on Twitter quite regularly on a daily basis. So, but yeah, follow him if you want regular, updates on what's going on in the SEO space. But as you can see, they've got all the right sort of signals here. There's so much content and so much citing and so much sort of this is where the information's come from. This is all, there you go. And this is some case studies and some tracking tool and things like that, which is, that's cool. I've seen all of this already, but it's good for you guys to see if you haven't already of the volatility of the search results, so to speak. So what have we got here? Very high. Of course it was. Let's come right back down there as we go into start of March, but that's interesting to see, actually, isn't it? So it's good graphics. But as you can see, I bet these are quite well optimized as well. Let's have a look. See, open. Not particularly. Anywho, but as you can see here, look how long this is. It's got a lot of interactions. Some spam, but a lot of interaction. Oh no, not spam. Some advice, actually, that's good. But yeah, as you can see, this content is absolutely spot on in terms of the way it's structured. It could be improved, but and that's why it's ranking on the first page. But Reddit shouldn't be. LinkedIn's an interesting one. LinkedIn is really, really interesting. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. And the interactions are not what I expected. I would have thought that it would be high interaction based content if it was ranking on the first page. LinkedIn is. I think that's right at the bottom, isn't it? That's really interesting because there's now two social media platforms that are ranking above. Let's see if they're ranking above. Systrix, Moz, Search Engine Journal, Google themselves. So this is it's exactly what we expected to see. More LinkedIn. Anything else? LinkedIn again. LinkedIn's more than Reddit, to be fair, and LinkedIn usually offers more. It's better insights. I trust people on LinkedIn a lot more, mainly because you can see them than Reddit. But yeah, that's quite interesting in terms of what we've seen there. I hope I've addressed some things, at least tried to make it clearer or have different perspective. I always hope that my perspective is at least different, or at least newish. But yeah, I suppose that's everything from me. I've hidden the controls for this, so I'm not actually sure how to stop the video. Let me find that out.